And you are powerful by the virtue of your mind. In fact, it's the seat of your power. That's the message that we explored last week as we continue to explore This Life is Yours by Linda Martella Whitsett and her daughter Alecia Whitsett. All right, I got a little echo going on here, Kenny. I don't know if we can mute some of the other ones maybe. Oh, much better, thank you. It's hard to focus when you are just got all this sound dissonance going on around you. Its power is the ability to direct our thoughts, our emotions, and ultimately our actions, and to help us create varied experiences in our life. That's its power. It also has power by virtue of its ability that as we focus it in any one given area, it focuses our energy. That we're all an energetic being, so the mind lets us take our broad focus and narrow it down and amplify the energy in any given situation. Some have called these energy centers. Some, in the Eastern tradition especially, call them and describe them as the 7 chakras. You may be familiar with that. Charles Fillmore, our Unity co-founder, decided 7 wasn't enough. He was quite familiar with the chakras, that we needed a few more, and so he created the 12 powers. So it's the same basic 7, but then we've got some amplified powers around that. And he describes these powers as capacities that we have innate within us, that when we activate them, they can support us. They are what allows us to live more from the divine truth, to live more in the space of an awakened brain, spiritually, versus the achieving brain, which is always just trying to get things done. And when we activate them, we are not only activating those innate powers, but we are activating within us an awareness of this divine truth, that we are whole. At our spiritual core, we are already whole. We are worthy. We are enough. We are not just loved, but we are the very essence and energy of that love. It's important, I think, to understand what and in some cases where these energy centers are located in our body, at least in general, because again, as we want to put our attention focus, our attention and that energetic activation, we want to kind of be able to direct those. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about in his scientific research that where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Think about that. And it's true physically, it's true mentally. It's wherever we're placing our attention is where we're putting all of our awareness and our energy in the middle of. So for those of you who may not have ever heard of these, or just as a quick overview, the more widely understood 7 energy centers, or the 7 chakras, the first lies at the root of our being. It's the place of reproduction, that area of our body, the perineum. And when it's activated, it can give us a greater sense of being grounded, of feeling nourished, a state of stability and safety. So when we're looking to try and bring more of that into our life, this is the energy center that we want to work with. The sacral, located about 2 inches below the navel, is the center of our creativity. It's where our emotions live, where we can experience both pleasure and pain. And in this area, the 12 powers model also adds strength, order, and the power of elimination in this general region of the body. The solar plexus, which is located just below our sternum, in our upper abdomen, if you want to think of it that way, is our center of personal will. It's our ability to put our mind to something and make it happen. It's our center of motivation, of self-confidence, of knowing that we have agency to make a difference. And in the 12 powers model, wisdom is also in this area. Judgment, discernment, gut intuition, if you want to think about it that way. So the heart is probably the one that is the most universal in the spiritual world, in the realm, and also as part of our human journey, in the center of our chest. And it is, as it is expressed in so many ways, the center of love. It activates our ability to be compassionate or kindness. It is where we can actually experience a shared connectedness. It's through the energy of the heart that we can begin to be more aware of how we are not just this autonomous, separate being, but we are part of an interconnected whole. And then we move to the throat, which is the center of our external expression. And as we activate this more, it allows us to feel more empowered to speak our truth and to experience and express this more heartfelt communication. It's almost as if these two centers are connected, and when we can activate this one, it will speak what the heart is feeling. Charles Fillmore also identified this as our power. He called it our power center, which is the power of our ability to speak and to shape and to express into the world. The third eye, which is the sixth chakra, is located between our eyebrows, and it is the center of insight and imagination and expanded perspectives. In the 12 powers model, hey Nick, would you put that next one up just so people can have so this is kind of how it looks in the 12 powers model. This area also includes, this is where he added a lot up into this center part of our head. It's the center of faith and imagination and understanding and will at least the spiritual level. So it's more spiritual will versus personal will. And then ultimately there's the crown, which is at the top of our head and is identified as our spiritual connection that allows the wisdom of that, what I'll call cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness, God consciousness, to connect with us. It is through this center at the top that this can flow into our awareness. We call it here our Christ center, but the crown chakra, it doesn't matter what names you give to it. It's all about activating it. One of the greatest spiritual awakenings that we can have is the realization that we have every resource that we will ever need or desire within us. I want you to hear that again. See if you can grab onto this to say, yes, this is true for me. Within each of us, we have been gifted every resource, every need we'll have, every power, capacity that we'll ever need. It's there. Sometimes it's more dormant than others, but within us, we've been equipped with anything we'll ever need to navigate this human experience. Jesus pointed the way repeatedly when he would remind people that the kingdom of God is within you. You are looking everywhere out here for it, but that realm is already within you. It's not far away, it's not hidden, except by our own understanding that it's already there. You know, what if we truly believe that? What if in every moment you said, I've got every resource I need and it's all within me? What would that look like? What would that feel like? What if every morning we woke up and we remembered that wisdom is within me, that unconditional love is already mine, that courage, every bit of courage I will ever need is already at my disposal. Within me is divine creativity, it's strength, it's imagination to move beyond and to be able to welcome something different if that's our heart's desire. How would we live differently? We have all of these spiritual resources. We simply forget to use them. Imagine that somebody's sitting beside a well and they're dying of thirst because they were never able to figure out how to lower the bucket. The water's present. The resource to get to that water is there, but it must be consciously drawn upon. It must be constantly brought up from the depths of our being in order for it to serve us. And the same is true spiritually. And that's what chapter 4 invites us to remember, that we aren't spiritually impoverished, even though it may feel that way sometimes. We're not empty beings having to beg in order to be filled up, in order to be given something. We are expressions of that divine light, already carrying all the sacred substance that we may ever need within us. So the challenge becomes not how do we get more of this, is remembering that we have it and using the power of our mind to activate it when we feel out of balance in any particular area. And I also understand, at least this has been my experience, that this forgetting part is part of our human journey. There's sort of built into the human part is this experience of being separate and autonomous, almost as an invitation so that we can then experience what it's like to be a part of the whole. So it's not something that we need to, now judge ourselves on because we're not aware in those moments when we're, mired in whatever human emotions might be coming up, or worries or fears or challenges. But to say, this is part of the journey. I forget at times, I wake up at times. When fear rises up in us, and it can happen before we can even be aware of it, our subconscious will bring it up to help protect us. When that shows up, it's easy to forget how strong we are. When pain shows up in our life, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, we forget that we're already whole and have what we need. When disappointment shows up, it can sometimes dampen that power of possibility, that power of imagination. Yet Spirit is continually calling us back to remembrance, back to the truth of who we are. So how do we make remembering these innate powers and activating them on a daily basis, how do we do that in our lives? And some of it you may already be doing, and it may just take a little more focused intention to say, yes, I'd like to add my energy to these parts, these powers. Meditation is a great way in order to be able to sort of, for a time, close out all the outer stuff that might have us engaged at the human level, and with focused attention, remember and activate all these energy centers within us. You can use visualization to locate them in the body. Some people like certain colors, some people like certain sounds. There's like certain megahertz that seem, for those who have studied this, to activate different centers in different ways. Yoga poses are all about activating and aligning and opening up the chakras in our system. And if that seems difficult, or perhaps you've tried and it's not giving you the results you've liked, there are many modalities out there that people offer to help you open up your chakras, whether it's Reiki or some other kind of energetic healing. So sometimes it takes having somebody believe with you or for you to get started. And if that's the case, that's all good too. And there are certainly lots of resources and guided meditations online. If you go to Insight Timer, and I'm sure there's many others, and just Google, energy centers, you're going to find a lot of different meditations. So if it's challenging for you to guide yourself, then allow someone else to guide you. I often use, at least in this past year, I've been working a lot with Dr. Joe Dispenza's, and he calls it the blessing of the energy centers. And he takes you through each one of these to activate them. And I like 1 and 2. He kind of gives good explanations. They do cost, and I would get them through his website. If you go out on YouTube and you Google him, the vast majority of what you're going to get is AI fakes. And if it works for you, who am I to say, but it won't necessarily reflect what I'm talking about here. So we're going to get an opportunity today to just do a little bit of practice too. So as we move into our time of meditation, that time that we're going to pause for just a few minutes through all this thinking activity and just try and bring our attention inward. As we begin this, I just invite you in this few minutes of quiet time to reflect on what inner spiritual resource have you forgotten? Of all those that you heard, what have you forgotten that's there? And what gift within you is wanting to be amplified, is wanting to be reclaimed? So as we move into this time, I just invite you to put everything aside. Focus on your breath for a few times, just to bring your attention and your awareness in to this present moment. Sometimes it's easier if you close your eyes, or you can just soften your gaze so that you can bring all of your awareness to this inner life that is happening not only in our bodies and in our minds and with our spirit. And it's usually good to start with the heart, to activating and opening this heart space in the center of your chest. An easy way to activate it is to bring to mind someone or something that you deeply appreciate, that you are grateful for, that you love. Whether that's a person, a beloved pet, a beautiful place in nature. Just let that resonate. And as you focus on that, know that it is activating, opening, almost like a flower, your heart center. And whenever you're ready, I would just invite you to focus your attention on that center that is arising as a place to have some extra attention. And put your focus on generally where it might be located in the body. Whether it's safety and stability in the reproductive area, or strength, or order, release, creativity in that second center below the navel. Whether you want to create a greater sense of personal will or wisdom or confidence. Focus on the solar plexus. Or you can simply remain in the heart, activating greater compassion, greater kindness, opening yourself to that sense of being one and connected with the greater life. Perhaps you've been struggling with speaking your own truth. You can focus in your throat area and activate that. Or in your head, whether it's insight or imagination, faith, understanding, Focus on the center of your head. And finally, if you're just yearning to have a deeper spiritual connection, enlightenment, this Christ perspective to be able to see and engage life through, you can activate the very top, the crown of your head. Simply your intention to do it is all you need to do. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. Just by placing your attention there, you are activating these particular centers. We'll move for just a moment into the silence to allow you to feel and experience what it's like to engage with these innate powers. And as we begin to bring our attention back to this time and space, we bring back a remembrance that in any moment, with simply a few breaths and some focused attention, we can call forth these spiritual gifts in any moment, in any situation. And we end with that energy of gratitude. Gratitude to know that we never walk this journey alone, and that we have been created with all that we will ever need to do it from a place of love. And whenever you're ready, you can begin to bring your attention back to this time and space. And open your eyes. So probably one of the more beautiful results of activating these spiritual centers, energy centers, whatever you want to call them, whatever name works for you, is that it not only awakens and aligns us with our own innate wholeness, it can actually heal the world. As your energy centers, that spiritual powers that we've been giving become more and more active, they energetically light us up from the inside out. And collectively, that light becomes a beacon in what can sometimes feel like dark times. Well, it is our opportunity now to share of our financial good this morning, because we've got this space blocked off for the choir. We're going to be passing the baskets in just a moment. You'll see one come by you, and you can offer your gift into the basket, or simply put a card in to remind yourself how you give electronically, or you can simply just add your energy to the basket. We'll activate the abundance of this ministry. Think of it that way. We're going to activate our power for this ministry so that all that we need, all that we desire, flows to us with ease and grace, and it is an opportunity for us to also take those funds and go out and share it with the world. So let us take these into our hands, into our hearts, as we join and bless it. Together, divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother God.
Okay, let's stand up. We're going to join hands and do our peace song together.
Here, we'll go right like this.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let to be with God as our Father. Family, all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
And so as we go into this week, lighting up our lives and lighting up the world, we go knowing our prayer for protection. We'll do it as call and response. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Together, wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right. I'm going to just